What is up, you guys? This is MiniSuperHeroes Today.
This video will contain massive spoilers for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+, so if you're not caught up on episodes, do that and come on back.
And in today's video, I'll be showing you how to build all of the main characters from the first 2 episodes of the Kenobi series using 100% official LEGO parts and pieces. I'm loving this series so far, so let's get right into it so we can build all of the characters from the show. So the episode starts off with that callback to Order 66, and given recent world events, I don't really want to build the younglings, but here's a 501st Clone Trooper to represent that segment, and let's just take a minute and remember those poor kids and all the families affected in Texas recently. Now that brings us to the Grand Inquisitor, and I used the regular Grand Inquisitor minifigure with the lightsaber that goes with him, and I added a cape. Now the thing is, we are getting a LEGO Kenobi set later this year that will have all 3 of the, Inquisitors in it, as well as Obi-Wan. So if you're watching this video at the time of the episodes coming out, remember I'm showing you how to build these with pieces that exist now. If you're watching this in the future, obviously those figures are probably going to be the better bet to use. Anyways, let's keep moving forward. Like I was mentioning, the 5th brother is also coming in that set later this year in 2022, but for right now, the actual 5th brother minifigure from Star Wars Rebels is the one to use. Now, as of this video, the 3rd sister, Reva, does not have a minifigure, so we can go ahead and build her as a custom. I used this flipped-around torso from Shadow from LEGO Ninjago with some legs from the LEGO Star Wars Imperial Engineer. I used this short tapered cape from the LEGO Mandalorian Battle Pack, and then I used this shoulder piece from Jafar from the LEGO Disney Collectible minifigure series. The head comes from Kayla Watts from LEGO Jurassic World Dominion, and the hair comes from Makari from LEGO Eternals. I wanted to use a regular lightsaber with the lightsaber blades because the, Inquisitor lightsaber is a pretty rare piece, so I'm just assuming that you don't own the Inquisitor to build this, and I wanted to build something that might be a little bit more accessible to the average builder out there. That brings us to Nari, who's the Tatooine Jedi in hiding. I used the head from the Grandmaster because Nari has some, markings around his chin. Then I used some sweatback black hair and the torso and legs from Obi-Wan from Episode 2. I thought that was a cool homage to use an Obi-Wan, body because, well, it is Obi-Wan's show. So, I'm not sure how many people are really going to make this figure, but if you want to make him, there you go. Here we have Obi-Wan in his work outfit, and once again, this is one of the figures we're getting later this year in the Kenobi set, so, we can definitely wait on that. Now, the thing is, that figure is going to come with a better hairpiece than the one here. This hairpiece comes from Ron Weasley from the LEGO Harry Potter collectible minifigure series. The head is just regular old Obi-Wan. The torso is just a light blue torso with some tan hands on it. And then I used dark brown legs and complemented it all with Luke's poncho from the LEGO Luke's Landspeeder. That brings us to Tika, Obi-Wan's Jawa trader, and I just used a regular old Jawa. Here we have young Luke Skywalker and Uncle Owen in LEGO form. I'm going to wait to build Aunt Beru until we get a more close-up scene with her so I can get better detailing. Anyways, Luke, I used Anakin's head, torso, and legs from the Pod Racer Anakin with the goggles since, Luke seems to be wearing those. And I gave him some short tousled hair there. It's come in several different places. Moving over to Uncle Owen, I used dark brown legs on the torso from the Villager from the LEGO Ninjago movie, and the hair and head combo come from the bartender from A New Hope. Now, you'll notice that this hair is kind of messed up. When I bought this figure used, it was kind of chipped off right here, but honestly, I think that looks pretty good for Uncle Owen, so I just left it. But, you don't have to break your pieces if you don't want to. Here we have Queen Organa and Bail Organa, and I'm pretty proud of the way this one turned out, if I could be honest. For the life of me, I cannot remember where this head is from, so if somebody remembers, drop it in the comments down below. The hair comes from Shuri, but it's also been in some LEGO City sets. The hands are made to match the head. For a nice little reference, I used Princess Leia's torso with Luke Skywalker's legs, since, she's a parent of Princess Leia, which technically makes her an aunt of Luke, so that's pretty cool. Then for Bail Organa, I used the hair and head from the official Bail Organa minifigure, which is quite valuable these days. I used a dark blue cape with a torso from a First Order officer and Lego Batman's legs, so you get the gray on top and black on bottom. Young Princess Leia being in this show was such a huge surprise, and it seems like she's going to have a pretty big role. The little actress that's playing her is just incredible, and she's really getting down that Carrie Fisher snarky attitude. Anyways, the torso for building this character comes from Cabe, as do the legs from the Lego Mos Eisley Cantina, like the big one. Then I used the hands and head from Lex Murphy from Lego Jurassic Park, and I just gave her a nice little ponytail there. Ironically, the ponytail that used to be used on Princess Leia. Go figure. It was pretty amazing to see C-3PO in this. Of course, it makes sense because at this time in Star Wars history, he's still owned by Bail Organa. So the C-3PO we have here is the one with the arm printing, which comes in the new trash compactor set, so that's quite cool. And for YO, the other droid we see here, I used the chrome version of TC-14. Really, really awesome figure. That also brings us to Vect, who is played by Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. How wild is that? Anyways, this is probably the figure I think turned out the weakest in this showcase, just because Vect had on that crazy shirt with a jacket, and I wasn't sure how to get that across, so I used the hippie torso from the collectible minifigure series with black arms and legs and hands to kind of bring in that darker tone, but I don't know if it really pulled off quite the way I wanted it to, so drop a comment if you have a better torso suggestion. The head comes from Star-Lord or Bucky Barnes, so pretty common head, but yeah, that's what I used. Now that brings us into the second episode. So we've got Obi-Wan in his undercover adventurer outfit, and the torso and kind of like hood piece here come from Old Man Ben Kenobi from, the original trilogy sets. The head comes from Obi-Wan from episode 2 or 3. These legs, I think, work pretty well. The brown tones don't match up perfectly, but I love that kind of khaki look for the legs, and I think that I can forgive the browns not matching up perfectly on the legs and the torso. Anyways, these legs come from Commissioner Gordon from the Lego DC line of sets, and then I gave him a little blaster since we have yet to see him use his iconic lightsaber. Here we have that little cameo from the homeless clone trooper, which it's pretty tough, even in today's world, some of our veterans end up homeless, and it's just kind of sad. But anyways, to build this, I went ahead and gave him Kylo Ren's hair, since his hair had grown out, a regular clone trooper head. Then I used this gray beard, which I got in the Home Alone set. I'm not sure if it's come anywhere else. That's just where I got mine from. I used this olive cape from the Lego Mandalorian Battle Pack. I gave him the Emperor's hands just to kind of show his hands were wrapped up in white cloth that isn't quite the same white color as the 501st Clone Trooper, which is where I got the helmet, torso, and legs from. Haja Estri was pretty interesting, and he was played by the same actor that played Kingo in Eternals. So naturally, I used Kingo's head with this swept back black hair. Then I used Old Man Ben Kenobi's torso and legs, and I just put hands on that matched to bring it all together. We do see some stormtroopers patrolling around in this episode, so any old stormtrooper should do the trick. Here we have Princess Leia in her undercover disguise as they're getting through the city, and I really like the way that this one turned out because I thought it was cool that she had that poncho on that kind of reminded me of the Endor poncho that she wears in episode 6. Maybe that's a reach, but what I used is the flipped around torso of Vicky Vale from Lego 1989 Batman, but this torso also has come in a Harry Potter accessory pack along the way, so it's a relatively accessible piece. Of course, there's tan hands on there to match the head, which once again is Lex Murphy from the Lego Jurassic Park theme. We've got that old style hair here with the ponytail, and I put on some light gray legs to bring it all together. Our final figure is the Darth Vader that we briefly see floating in Bacta at the end of the episode. And I do have the Darth Vader, like, out of his costume from the castle. But unfortunately, it's sealed in the box because I haven't opened my Vader's castle. So the next best thing I could do to build it using pieces I just had lying around was to remove the hands from a white torso. Then, of course, I just used this, like, gray hip piece and pulled the legs off. I used this black breathing apparatus with any old regular Darth Vader head that's white. So with that being said, let's zoom out so I can give you my final thoughts on this showcase. Alright guys, well if you haven't already, be sure to hit like and subscribe. I'll be doing updated showcases every single week for every single episode that comes out, and I do this for Marvel shows as well, and in between that we've got set reviews, news, and all that good stuff. So if you're new here, you don't want to miss it, you want to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.